Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and today we are doing a guest deck profile again with Michael Ryan, who just got 6th place at the Fargo, North Dakota Regional by playing Brave Prank Kids. So, Mike, how'd today go?
It went pretty well, unfortunately, I was X2, but that still got me into 6th place. I lost against the Mirror, and I lost against Zombie. I'll just do some bricks that we'll go over in the deck profile later. But yeah, overall, I really like the deck. I like the consistency it has, and it's one of the meta contenders this format.
All right, well, should we just get right on into it?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, and let's show off that mat quick.
Oh yeah, that won this mat. This was my 6th place winnings, and then I got a bunch of Battle of Chaos that I will open up at a later time.
All right, yeah, really nice, like finished, like it's like really kind of glossy and shimmery almost.
Yeah, it's super nice.
Yep.
They're a pretty penny, I think they're going for as well. So for the Prank Kids, we have 3 Prank Kids Fansies, 3 Prank Kids Dropsies, 3 Prank Kids Lampsies, and 1 Prank Kids Roxies. So a pretty standard lineup, I would say. You really want to see all the names of the kids, except for Roxy's. I don't really like seeing it because you need to have another card in your hand, and I only like to have one because you go through all the names turn 1. You just needed to keep getting another name on board. I don't think I'd really change this lineup that much. I sided out the 3rd Fancies a lot, because sometimes you don't really want to keep milling your deck out. You'll lose a lot of names that way. But other than that, I think it was super good, super standard, and I really liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the Adventure Token Engine, we had the 3 Rite of Air Messir, and then
that's Water Enchantress.
Water Enchantress. It's basically right.
Yeah,
basically
it's
right.
Basically it's your 6th copies of
yeah,
Rite.
4th, 5th, and it's my 4th, 5th, and 6th copies of Rite.
Correct.
And then my Wandering Griffin Rider. Pretty. Again, self-explanatory, pretty standard. Water Enchantress, not only is it your 4th, 5th, and 6th copies of getting to Rite, it can also act as an extender to go into an extra deck card that I'll go over in a sec. And then Wandering Griffin Rider, you just play the 1 for the extra deck, or the negate. Super good. It's expensive for a reason.
yeah, it's good. It puts in mileage.
Yeah, it definitely does. And that's it for the main deck monsters, except for the hand traps, which I'll go over now. Which I played 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Effect Veiler, 3 Ghost Ogre, and 3 Nibiru.
Wow, so that's really big.
Yeah,
hand trap
12 hand traps. This format, unfortunately, you really need to play multiple hand traps because a lot of one doesn't really cut it, especially against like the Brave token engines. You really need to see 2 of them, and I think these 3 are pretty standard. I think like a lot of decks should be playing these ones.
Yeah.
And then I opted for Nib because I was a little more worried about combo, and Nib plus any one of these other hand traps usually can break that entire board of either Prank Kids Brave or Prank Kids Phantom Knight, so excuse me, along with, the pile decks that are around, like the Tenny Synchro and like the Rose Dragon stuff. So
any hand traps for your matchups that were like the MVP? Like, did Nib come up a lot?
Nib came up a couple times. I was playing against a 60-card Drytron list that Nib came up extremely well because I was going into time game 3 and I was just able to nib him without them going into Natasha, so they couldn't like keep gaining the life. Mm-hmm. So Nib, I think, was it performed the way I liked it to, but I think Ghost Ogre probably outperformed what I think it would do. It's just so good. It hits so much stuff. Yep. Not only does it hit like the Fateful Adventure stuff and the Brave token stuff, but it also hits like weird matchups. Like it hits like the Floanderies deck. It can hit like maybe some like Live Twin stuff, maybe a little bit. Sky Striker, it's super good against, especially against the multi-roll. So I think Ghost Ogre is like one of the best hand traps in this format.
I got hit by it 3 times on my Fateful Adventure today, just in my matchups. So it's really powerful.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Okay,
and then for the last monsters, I play the Celestial and the Dasher. So I do play DPE in this list. I think if you get interrupted through your Prank Kids combo, you really don't end up getting to Battle Butler as easy as you'd like. And sometimes you just need a plan B to go into, so you can just make Verte and Akonda, and then dump the Celestial and Dasher, and then DP makes it so that you have a recurring body that can get you through the mid and late games and outgrind your opponent. And that's it for the monsters. It's a 45 card deck, so I think it's 28 monsters if I'm not mistaken. And then for the spells, I have the 3 Prankid's Place, the 1 Pandemonium, and the 1 Pranks. Prankid's Place is your extra 3 copies of any of the names, which is super good, but it also helps you going second because you are able to chain block through all your kids. Just to make sure you don't get hit by Ash, because if you are just playing regular Prank Kids, Ash is the worst card against this deck. And Pranks, you only play 1 in Super Standard. It's really good. I only played the 1 Pandemonium. Excuse me. I only played the 1 Pandemonium because I'm only playing 1 Butler in my extra deck. So you don't really need to see the fusion spell all that often. I think if I was playing the 2nd Butler, I might play this because you could then theoretically get into 3 Butler on 1 turn. But I think just having the 1 is fine. You don't really want to see it in your opening hand anyways, because you have to have multiple kids for that to be live right away. So I think 1, it worked out really well for me. It never got my Cosmic Cyclones or anything like that, which I was kind of worried about. So I was able to keep rotating it, which is really good. And then for the Brave token stuff, I have 3 Rite of Aramesir. This is actually Rite of Aramesir.
Wait, isn't that Water Enchantress?
No, it's not actually. And then I have the 1 Fateful, the 1 Draco back. So this is super standard lineup of it. I was thinking about maybe playing 2 Fateful Adventure, but if I was doing that, might want to play like the Magician Souls package with this, just so that you get the extra value off of having that extra copy of Fateful Adventure. But I think the 1 is fine, even if it gets Ghost Ogred. Like, it sucks when it gets Ghost Ogred, right? But you'd rather not play the extra copy just in case for that niche interaction, right?
Yeah, when you're playing this along with DPE, especially in both PK decks, having just extra bricks just is horrible.
The bricks, I hate it. And I bricked a lot I bricked on it a little bit. I mainly lost due to myself bricking and not even more misplays or the deck even not performing very well. It was mainly just due to suboptimal hands.
I could see an argument, though, for 2 Fateful. It does make sense.
It does, yeah. Especially if you're wanting to go, I would say if you're trying to go like more of a 50 card route and you want to play like the Magician Souls package, I think you probably do up this to 2. Just to A, you can play around Ghost Ogre better, and B, you get the extra value off of the Magician Souls Send to draw 2 cards. And then for the other quote-unquote Brave token card, it is the Foolish Burial. This card, it's so good.
That's your 7th copy.
It's my 7th copy of Rite of Aramesir. It dumps the Water Enchantress, and then you're off to the races after that point, which is super good. And then for the generic spells, we have 3 Forbidden Droplet, 1 of them secret, because I don't have that kind of money. I pulled these other 2. This, I thought it was super good. I was kind of worried about Herald of the Arclight for the pile decks, because then this card makes it not so great, because you can't send a monster from your hand, so they can respond to it. But when Droplet came up, it was like the best card ever. And it came up a lot this format. I think I resolved this 3 times in 1 duel against someone, and it was super. It blew them out every time I used it.
Wow.
It was super good. I would not cut this. I would play this. It's unfortunately one of the staples that you kind of just have to pay for. Yep. I don't think anything really is a substitute for it.
It's like the token deck. It just puts in the mileage that you pay for it.
Exactly. And then for the last cards, we have the 2 Fusion Destiny, and then the 1 Called By. Fusion Destiny, it's for the DP package. You got to play 2. Seeing it in your opening hand, super good, but you can also get it through Verte. And you don't necessarily get to this if you have both your Brave Token engine and your Prank Kids engine online. You'll just save this for turn 3, which your opponent might not expect, and it's super good that way. And then the Called By is just the Called By. Called By is insane. There's a reason that card's at 1.
Yep.
It's super good. It came up a lot of the times, and whenever I see it, I was generally going to win the game. Even if they hand trap me, I would stop the hand trap. But if not, then you have it for extra interruption.
Yep.
And then on to the extra deck.
Yep. Let's try going a little bit over here for the glare.
Oh, right here.
Yep.
Sure. For the extra deck, for the Print Kids Link Monsters, we have the one Meow Meow Mew. You only can play one, unfortunately. This card, extremely good. Just to make your print kid, like one print kid's your entire combo. Plus the effect of banish comes up all the time with Battle Butler. It really is the best card. Like it's pretty much the best card in the deck.
Yeah, it's what brought the deck kind of back to contention.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'd love to play more, but it's at one. And then I play 3 Prank Kids Doodle Doo or Doodoo Doodle Doo. I always got to make them weird names, right?
Yep.
This card, I play multiples of it because this card was always getting hand trapped all the time today. It would be impermed, veilered, and stuff like that. Not getting the ad, it does hurt, I will say. But just being able to keep linking off and getting multiple copies in the grave so that you can just pranks it back to get the nice draw does help. And then making more just to get around those veilers, it really, really helps a lot. And then I play the one Bow Wow Bark. You only really need one because you're usually just making this as your end board, and then you're tripping it off in draw phase to get your other 2 kids that you need to make Battle Butler. And then I think one is super good. I probably wouldn't up this. I kind of wanted to, but I wouldn't up it. I think just one is just fine. If you need to, you recycle it. And then I played the one Rip, Roar, and Roaster. I've seen a lot of people start cutting this card, actually. I get it. If you're playing more of like more of like a Magician Souls thing, or if you're trying to cut down on the kids to get like extra cards in your extra deck, like Dark, or any of those generic good extra deck monsters. But this actually came up against me against Zombie World Eldritch. I was able to get this on the board and then tribute it off to blow out his back row for 6 cards. So super good. I always like playing at least one of this in this deck. It's pretty. It's really good, and you need it for those fringe cases, right? And then for the Prank Kids Fusion Monsters, I played the one Battle Butler, the one Rocket Ride, and the one Weather Washer. Usually, every time you're making the Battle Butler, this is like part of your, you make it on your opponent's turn, and it's double Regeki. It's super good against any of like the Brave Prank Kids or Phantom Knight, or even the pile decks. Not a lot of decks can play through double Regeki on their turn. And then the Rocket Ride and Weather Washer, they just come up in fringe cases. You make this on your opponent's turn. Or you can make this if you're playing like Sky Striker to turn off the recursion of Ray, because then you just battle over and your opponent can't activate until the end of the damage step. And Rocket Ride can attack directly, which does come up sometimes. But it really just facilitates if you open up Pandemonium in multiple kids' names. And then the one quote-unquote other Prank Kids Fusion, DP. This card, it really is a game warping card. It's super good. I was thinking about playing Thunder Dragon Fusion instead, and then playing the second copy of Battle Butler, how you usually run it, but DP is way too good. You gotta play it. I think it's really just extremely staple right now. And then for the generic Link monsters, we have the 2 Link Spider, and I'll put the Verte here. I opted to play 2 Link Spider because sometimes people will nib you before you have used Prank Kids Pranks. So you'll link the nib token off for the Link Spider, and then you'll Prank Kids Pranks make the token, and then link that off for a Link Spider, and then these 2 will go into your Verte Anaconda. So you have like a plan B button just in case anything happens.
That's a really cool play.
Yeah, it's really good. And then Verte,
yep.
This card it's got to get banned.
Yeah.
It's way too powerful. Not only does it get to cheat out DP, but like if you're playing Dragoon, you get to cheat that card out too. It's just one of the most powerful extra cards that has come out in a long time.
Yep. Hashtag Banaconda.
You're right, please. And then for the last 2, I was playing the Nightmare Unicorn and then the Access Code Talker. This is just You get a lot of link material off with the prank kids, especially going on turn 3. So getting to this and access code talker wins you the game right there. It's really powerful, and it's a blow up. Like you always win that way.
Yep.
And then we have
side deck. Yep.
We got the side deck as well. So for the side, we have 3 Droll and Lockbird. I sided this in all the time today. I think it's super good. I almost kind of want to main deck this card, and I might do that going forward. Droll just hits all the Brave decks, and it hits, Drytron. It can sometimes hit Striker if they want to keep searching and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, it's super good. It's definitely mainstay in the side deck, but sometimes you could probably main deck it. And then for the other monster, I was playing 3 Artifact Lancia. This I actually did not side at all today. I was thinking I was going to play a lot more of the like the Phantom Knight decks or decks that would like to banish a lot, like Flunder. I only played Flunder once, and I didn't side deck this because I had better side deck options and I won game 1. And I never played any Phantom Knight deck, so that's what this card was mainly for. Theoretically, super good. I really like it. I think I still would keep it in there, but it just didn't come up this tournament.
Yep. And not to mention that can also stop the Brave engine from starting off if they have the Water Enchantress.
Exactly.
So.
Yep. And then for the spells, I was playing the 3 Cosmic Cyclone, and then the 3 Lightning Storm.
Oof.
So, Cosmic Cyclone, loved it. It was super good. Being able to chain, get rid of the Pandemonium, or get rid of the Scythe before they could pop it with DP, like super clutch. The Lightning Storms, I kind of made a decision to play this over Crossout, and I think going back on it, I'd probably reverse that decision. I'd probably play this as Crossout Designator because I was dying to a lot of hand traps during the tournament. I would get ogred a lot, I'd get nibbed a lot, I would get ashed a lot. So I think Crossout is probably better than this card, especially in the side. But I put this in here because I thought I would see a lot of rogue matchups today. And I only saw a couple, and I only sided all 3 copies in really only once against the Zombie World Eldritch player. But I never saw this card. So, like, I get why I did it. I probably would put in Crossouts instead. And then for the last 3 cards, I did the 3 Solemn Judgment. This card, super, super good. Super good. It won me round 7 against my opponent to get me into the top 8. They activated Fusion Destiny. I didn't have an Ash, but I did have the Solemn Judgment for it, and he just passed after that.
I saw that play, and I about screamed. It was insane.
Yeah, so this card, I like it. I really enjoyed it in prank kids because you need to be able to set to protect your back row. And not only that, you need to protect the Battle Butler if anything happens to that. You technically have that with Wandering Griffin Rider, but that being on the field and then being able to try to play around it does open up avenues where that's not usually enough a lot of the times. And having this in the side deck going to game 2 or 3 when you know you're going first, super good. I would always keep this in any Prank Kids deck. I think it's really, really needed.
Nice. Okay, well, thank you for the in-depth deck profile. I think it was actually like super informative on like how every tech and everything sort of fits into this particular deck. So anything else before we get done here?
No. Shout out Common Collector. I traveled up with him to the Fargo Regional.
Yep.
Really enjoyed the trip. It was a lot of fun. Other than that, shout out to like Mankato locals, Atlantis Hobby, and also shout out to the Fargo JWW Sports Cards. Thank you for hosting us. It was a great event.
Yep. All right, and congratulations one last time on 6th place and for winning the awesome mat and your regional invite. Doubling up on the one that you've had stacked up for the last 2 years.
Yeah, since 2019.
All right. Thank you very much, Michael, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.